What's up, Vishwas here. I'm back again with another video, this time with my Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, this is a teeny tiny computer, but don't underestimate its powers. It's really powerful. Okay, so yeah, today I'm going to show you like how to assemble this device, what are its applications, then how to install operating system on it, which other operating systems are supported on this device, and how can I make use of this device for educational purpose, for doing DIY things, as well as to use it for some sort of professional use as well. So yeah, let's dive into it. Okay, so let me start by explaining its configuration first, and then we will proceed with other things. So what I have here is two USB 2.0 ports, two USB 3.0 ports, then a gigabit Ethernet port here. It comes with 8 gigabytes of DDR4X SD RAM, quad-core ARM 64-bit Cortex A76 processor with 2.4 GHz clock speed. So it's power efficient due to both DDR4X RAM as well as the ARM processor. It has video core 7 GPU support. You can actually watch the assembly video on the left side of the screen, but let me explain the configuration side by side. Yeah, the CPU and DDR4X RAM sit under this cooling fan. On the side it has USB-C port that is used for the power input. Then there are two micro HDMI ports which can be used to take output from this Raspberry Pi 5 and provide as an input to your external monitors. By the way, it supports 4K 60p outputs from these two HDMI output ports with HDR support as well. So it's, I think, pretty much powerful in terms of that. Then I said it has a gigabit Ethernet port, but in addition to that it supports Bluetooth connectivity. It has Bluetooth 5.0, then Bluetooth low energy, as well as dual band Wi-Fi. So both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi it supports. Yeah, it basically accepts the 5 volt 5 ampere power supply. So total 25 watt power supply is necessary to get best out of this device. So this metallic case is really nice. I have bought it separately. Here it has this power on off button using which you can turn on and off this Raspberry Pi, and below it has this micro SD port. So whatever micro SD card you put inside this Raspberry Pi, it acts like a sort of internal hard disk for this Raspberry Pi. This 128 UHS-1 A2V30 micro SD card which I bought separately. So together the Raspberry Pi, the cooling fan, the case that I have put here, there is one more outer casing for this, and in addition to that this micro SD card. So these four components I have bought from Amazon, and I have put all the links for these products in the video description, so do check those out. And yeah, these are basically Amazon affiliate links. So in terms of operating system, it does not have support for all the operating systems available out there, but it usually supports most of the Linux distributions, especially the Raspbian OS or Raspberry Pi OS that is native to this Raspberry Pi. And in addition to that, it has support for Ubuntu, Alpine, then Kali OS, Manjaro. I have some more versions listed here. Diet Pi. Then it also supports Windows IoT Core for the IoT applications, but it comes without a desktop support in my understanding. In this video and the videos that I will make from now, I will be mainly using either Raspberry Pi OS or Ubuntu for my development or the projects that I am going to show you. In terms of price, I bought this Raspberry Pi 5 on Amazon at roughly 8,000 Indian rupees. Then the micro SD card at around 1200-1300 rupees, and then an accessory kit. So yeah, in that accessory kit you can find the micro HDMI cable, then the casing, the cooling fan, and yeah, the screwdrivers, screws, and many other things that are necessary to build casing around this Raspberry Pi 5. And I bought that at roughly 1300-1400 ish. So total the cost was around 11,000 yen max. I'm even considering the price ups and downs. So yeah, the maximum price is 11,000, and this is not the only option you can buy at Amazon. The previous generations of this Raspberry Pi are also very powerful. For example, you can buy Raspberry Pi 02W, which comes at roughly 2000 rupees. So that's like very cheap. Okay, cool. So lots of theory so far. So yeah, let's go ahead and do some practical things. And for that I'm going to first install an operating system. Cool. So for this setup you just need to download one software. It's called Raspberry Pi Imager. So I will download the Raspberry Pi Imager and then I will install it, and then we can continue with our setup. So I will download it for Mac OS. Cool. So just double click, move it to the applications. I think I had like already installed this Pi Imager, so I will just replace it, and that's it. The Raspberry Pi Imager is installed. I will open it. Yes. Okay. So the setup is very simple. So what you need to do is extract the operating system image on this micro SD card with some configuration settings that you will do through this Raspberry Pi Imager, and then you can just insert this micro SD card in your Raspberry Pi 5 or any other Raspberry Pi version that you have, and you are good to go. Let's do it. So as a device I will select Raspberry Pi 5, then choose operating system. First let me go with Raspberry Pi OS, a 64-bit version. So I am showing you the setup of like operating system with desktop support. So I will select this as an operating system, and for the storage I actually need to insert this micro SD card. I will put it inside this SD adapter and connect it to my MacBook. Now it will show up here. Yep. So I have selected this these three things basically. I will proceed next. For now I will clear all the settings, and for now let me click on no. So again let me go next. So there are no existing settings, and now I will edit all the settings here for you. So by default the host name will be Raspberry Pi, but you can change your host to anything. Okay, so for now I am keeping it as Raspberry Pi.local because I am just showing you some demo. I will set my username and password. So let me just select some random password here, and I will select okay. So this is going to be my password for the Raspberry Pi. I will put the password somewhere else safe, and inside the Raspberry Pi Imager I will just put the password. Here I am going to set up my Wi-Fi. So yeah, for the SSID part you just need to enter the SSID whatever you have. For the demo purpose I am not putting my real Wi-Fi ID and password, but yeah, let's assume that this is my SSID name and password. I'm going to change afterwards. You don't have to check this option. In terms of services, definitely enable the SSH, and then copy your SSH key, which you can create on your terminal like SSH keygen. I will create a new key here. By default it will get saved here. Let me override the existing key. For now, like there is not going to any password, but definitely please set a good password that you can remember. I will enter the same password again, which is empty, and now my SSH key is generated here. Let me like show you how does it look. idrsa.pub. Okay, so this is how the SSH key looks, and this is like uniquely created for your computer. So just copy on your clipboard and replace it with the existing key if it was there, and now I am set. So there are two options. I usually prefer this public key authentication only. So this is safer than the password authentication. Now in the third tab, you don't have to uncheck any of these options, just leave that as it is. And yeah, let me just enter my real like SSID and password here, and I will be like back in a minute. Okay, so there I have entered the real SSID and password for my Wi-Fi. Now I am saving this. Okay, and with this setting I will select this yes option. My memory card will be erased, so yes, and now I will wait and watch until this gets finished, and I will be back once the formatting is completed. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes only. The operating system is now extracted on this micro SD card, which was here in the SD card adapter. Now I am going to put this micro SD card inside this Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, so now it's inserted on the back like this. Then I am going to connect my micro HDMI cable. The next is connecting the mouse and a keyboard, and finally connecting this 25-watt USB-C power supply, and done. So the light is on, which means Raspberry Pi 5 is booted. The fan has started to spin. Great. Now I will take you to my monitor and let's check what I can see here. Okay, cool. Now the Raspberry Pi OS is started. Let me make some changes to my desktop first. Let me connect this Raspberry Pi to my Anchor speakers. These are Bluetooth speakers, and as the Raspberry Pi 5 has Bluetooth functionality, let me actually connect those. So I will click on add device. I will put my Anchor on the pairing mode. Okay, so now my Sound Core 2 is displayed here. I will pair it with pairing successful. Right click on OK. Yeah, so that if I show you some video playback, you can also hear the voice of the video. So now let me open a web browser. By default it has opened the Chromium web browser. It's similar to Chrome. Let me actually open the YouTube. By the way, this display is 4K, and yeah, it's beautifully supporting the 4K display here. Now I want to check what is going to be the automatic maximum resolution for this video. So currently it's auto 480p. If I streaming wise, (720p) videos are playing without any issues. There are no issues with 720p resolution. Okay, let's check now the full HD. Great. I think there are no issues with the full HD as well, so I think it can handle up to full HD without any issues. So in my opinion, you can use this Raspberry Pi for streaming content. Okay, so watching some action movie trailers. Okay, this is MI. I think the quality is really good. I don't find any issues with the streaming. Yeah, I can watch movies without any problem if I use this Raspberry Pi 5 as my desktop computer. Of course, the 4K support is still not here. At least the Chromium browser supports up to full HD, not 4K. But yeah, the quality is really good. Okay, so let's move to the next, surfing some web. So let me open any news website. Yeah, in terms of browsing, the speed is really good. I'm just clicking on some random articles and scrolling through. I'm not opening any particular article here. So you can see the surfing speeds are also really good. The clicks are very responsive, and yeah, I don't have any issues with it. Next, let's check the speeds of internet. The ping is good. The internet speed is also good, above 100 Mbps, and actually this is connected through the Wi-Fi. And if I connect directly to the Ethernet port, which I will show you when I'm installing the terminal based operating system, the speeds will actually expected to increase a lot because it's a gigabit Ethernet port. Okay, so cool. I think the internet speeds, I don't have any problem. So yeah, that's the testing for the desktop based OS. So my genuine opinions are as follows. So I can use this computer as my desktop computer for most of my daily tasks, and even if you are planning to give this Raspberry Pi as a gift to someone, maybe a small kid from your family or anyone, I think he or she can use this Raspberry Pi as their main first computer. And yes, so definitely, like, there are no issues with the browsing and anything else so far. So okay, let me turn off this, and after that I will show you how to install the Ubuntu but terminal based operating systems, on which I will be having like lots of projects. And yeah, that's what I'm going to show you next. Okay, so now you saw the Raspberry Pi desktop OS. So now I will show you the terminal based operating system, which is which I'm going to choose Ubuntu. And yeah, let me install or extract Ubuntu on this micro SD card here. I will put it inside this SD card adapter, and yeah, it will go back to the laptop. Now I don't have to select any other device here again, and from the operating systems I will choose other general purpose OS, Ubuntu, and then choose Ubuntu server 24.04.1 LTS. LTS stands for long term support, and it also supports Raspberry Pi 02W 34405. So there are no issues with any other Raspberry Pi version. So if you have any other, you can use it without any problem. Then again I will choose this micro SD card, then click next. I will again clear the settings. I won't format the card until yet. I will edit the settings again, go to the general tab, set the host name as Raspberry Pi. So I will keep it by default, and yeah, then I will set username and password. So let me copy the password that I had created for the desktop based operating system. So I have copied the password on my clipboard. I have pasted it here, and yeah, this time I won't configure any wireless LAN because I'm going to connect this Raspberry Pi directly to my router through the Ethernet cable. So which means I don't need any Wi-Fi settings here, and yeah, that can improve some performance. I won't change any local settings. In the services, I will enable SSH, and I will choose this second option, allow public key authentication only, and the key that I had created here I will copy and paste it here. I will save. I don't need to change any settings in the third tab, and like that I will click on yes, and the media card will be erased. And yep, I will be back in a minute. Yeah, Ubuntu LTS has been written to this SD card. I will continue, then remove the SD card. Now Ubuntu is extracted on this SD card here. Insert this micro SD card again to the Raspberry Pi like this, and yeah, then done. Let me connect this Raspberry Pi to my router via this Ethernet port. Okay, and then I will SSH into this Raspberry Pi through my terminal on my MacBook. Okay, cool. So wait a moment. Okay, so what I did meanwhile is I connected my Raspberry Pi 5 to my router via Ethernet cable RJ45 port, and then I checked which IP address has been assigned to this Raspberry Pi 5 through my router settings, and it turned out that the IP address it got assigned was 192.168.11.27. So this is the local internet IP address actually, and you cannot access the Raspberry Pi over internet. It's on my local net only. Let me try to connect to this Raspberry Pi. Okay, so the command is SSH, then the username is Vishwas Abhyankar because that's what I set, and then at the rate IP address of my Raspberry Pi, so which is 192.168.11.27, and when I hit enter, yeah, it is asking me, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes, and then it will ask me the passphrase for the key. For the demonstration purpose, I had not entered any password there, so for that reason I will just enter empty, and now it's asking me the password for the username Vishwas Abhyankar on the Raspberry Pi. So here I need to copy the password that I had like created on password generator. Let me first try by entering. Okay, great. So I could paste the password and now it could log into the Raspberry Pi. So it shows some information about the Raspberry Pi here. The next thing I'm going to do is like running the benchmark on this. So I'm going to run the Geekbench test on this Raspberry Pi, and then I am going to show you the results. Okay, so please wait for that. Okay, so I won't show you like how did I install the Geekbench on my Raspberry Pi and then how did I run the test. It's out of scope for this video, but let me show you the results. So as you can see here, yeah, this is my device, Raspberry Pi 5 Model B revision 1.0, and yep, these are the test results. For single core score it could achieve 779 and multi-core score is 1649. So I think the results are pretty good for this device. You can see the results here as well. So I'm just scrolling through, and yeah, it is showing the like various single core performances for various operations that it has done on this device. These are multi-core performance operations. So yeah, you can compare that with what are you getting on your computer and then check like then judge the how to say the performance of this Raspberry Pi 5. But in my opinion, I think it's pretty good for this like tiny device. Okay, finally let me sip some coffee. And yes, I have covered almost everything for this video, like how to set up this Raspberry Pi, and yeah, both with and without UI. So please check the video in detail if you want to set up this Raspberry Pi. And yeah, I have added all the affiliate product links in the description, so please do check those as well. You can buy the Raspberry Pi and the micro SD card and the casing on Amazon. And yes, next I'm going to create a video series on like what I can use this Raspberry Pi 5 for. Okay, so I have some ideas in my mind, so I'm just sharing those with you. So I'm going to create private media server which can host my private music that I create, and anything that I own, I can access that anywhere in the world using my Raspberry Pi 5. Then I'm going to use this Raspberry Pi as a personal cloud. So instead of using the iCloud or Google Drive subscription, I can host my documents and the other data from my home. And yeah, I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. Next, I will show you how to make use of this Raspberry Pi 5 as a portable router, where there is like public Wi-Fi available, but I generally hesitate to connect to those Wi-Fi connections which are public, because generally they are not considered safe. So that's why I am going to make use of my Raspberry Pi 5 as a portable router. So yeah, this router can connect to the public Wi-Fi. Then I can connect to the Raspberry Pi 5 using Wi-Fi, and Raspberry Pi will act as an encryption server which can like protect my data from stealing and hacking actually. Then I will set up a VPN server on my Raspberry Pi 5. Then I can set it as a home lab. I will like explain the details later in other videos. I am just giving you some trailer what I'm going to do with this. And then yep, I am from data science and AI background, so I am also planning to host some lightweight machine learning models as well. And I will do everything on this Raspberry Pi, and not everything but most of it through some containerization. So what I mean by that is I will install Docker on it, and then using Docker I will host various applications at the same time on various ports, and which are accessible to me outside my home as well. So yeah, I'm going to show you that in detail, so stay tuned. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, put your comments in the like description box, not description box, sorry. So stay tuned. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, then hit a like, put your thoughts in the comments below. I will be back with another video soon. So until then, peace.